and the mass of this other guy, it is 1/4 of M. We have been told that the mass of this guy is M, and the mass of that other guy is 1/4 of M. Then we have been told that the height from there to there, it is 35 centimeters. So the first thing you need to do is to change the 35 centimeters into the SI units, which has to be meters. So we'll say from there to there, we can say 35 divided by 100, which is what? 0.35 meters. Okay. And then we also have the height from there to there, which is 95 centimeters. What you do, you again change 95 centimeters over 100 centimeters per meter, and you're going to have what? 0.95 meters. You have changed those values. Now, we need to understand. This question can be approached in so many ways, but it's important to solve it step by step. The first thing you need to understand is that when this cube here, which we can say cube 1, when this cube moves from there to there, there is the change of energy from kinetic energy, which is the moving energy, to the what? Potential energy. Okay. Now, we need also to understand that during the movement from there to there, the velocity that this guy was moving at depends on the change of what? Energy. So what you do is, let's say the initial velocity, which is from there to there, it is, let's call it as V1. It is V1. So I'll just first solve from there to there for me to see the value of V1 before the collision. That's our initial velocity. So we'll say KE is equal to PE, and then KE is half M V squared, of which V, it is what? It is our V1, is equal to MGH. MGH. From this formula, you find that this M and that M will go. So what we are having now is half V squared 1 is equal to GH. Then we are going to say V squared 1 is equal to 2GH. This formula, which we have derived from the change in potential energy and kinetic energy, will help us to find the velocity of this cube before it had to collide with cube 2. This one, we'll name it as cube 2. So, we have this, we have that, and we have the height, which is 0.35. So we'll say V1 squared is equal to 2 times, remember, the acceleration due to gravity, it varies from 9.6, 9.7, 9.8. But normally, we normally use this 9.8 because this guy depends on places. It's a vector quantity. So we use 9.8 times the height, which is 0.35. The height, which is 0.35. So from there, what are we going to do? We'll just find the value of V1, which is what? Someone to calculate? What's the value? 2 point what? 2.6. 2.6 meters per second. We have that. So this was the velocity of this cube before hitting that. This is the velocity of this cube before hitting that. We are done with this part. We forget about it. What are we supposed to consider next? They have now collided, and when they collide, they are going to part ways. This one will go at a certain distance, and the other one at another distance, which we have been asked to solve. So, what we are going to do now, we are going to use the equation of momentum. And the rule we are going to use is conservation of momentum. We say M1 V1 plus M2 V2 is equal to M1 V1 final, I'll put the complement there, plus M2 V2 final. Now, what have we been taught? We have been taught that this guy, the mass of that and that, the relationship is like that. It is 1 to 4. That's what I can say. So M1 will put the M like that. V1, for this time, we won't write any weight there, any number. Plus M2. M2 have been taught it is 1 over 4 of M1. So we'll say 1 over 4. And then V2 is equal to M1 V1 that plus there we'll say 1 over 4 M V2 2. Okay. V2 2. What's next? When you factorize the M here, when you factorize the M, you're going to have V1 plus 1 over 4 V2 is equal to M V1 final plus 1 over 4 V2 final. That guy and that guy will go. So we have V1 plus 1 over 4 V2 is equal to V1 final plus 1 over 4 V2 final. Now, let's understand the question. The initial velocity for that to there, it is 2.6. We have found that. We also need to understand that this body was at rest. So the initial was 0. So you replace. This guy we have found is that. So we are going to say 2.6 plus 1 over 4 times 0 is equal to V1 final plus 1 over 4 V2 final. That's what we have. This, when it's simplified, you're going to have 2.6 is equal to V1 final plus 1 over 4 V2 final. That's our equation. We can simplify it by getting rid of this fraction. We just say multiply by 4. So that times that, someone help us? 4 times 2.6. 4 times 2.6. 10.476. Okay, we'll just put a 7 there. Is equal to 4 V1 complement plus V2 final. This will write it as our own laws, motions. So, when we talk of that, assume we have a body, well, we have this person, I'll take a person. This person is going toward this guy, and that guy also is moving. this guy is also going this side. The relative velocity of these guys, it is their difference. If this is A, this is B, then their relative velocity will be V of B minus V of A. Again, if we say, since they are going in this direction, if we assume that, okay, they are going this side, we again can say it can also be found by VA minus VB, relative velocity. When they are going towards the same direction, we subtract. Now, when they are going in different directions, for example, this guy is going this side and this guy is going that side. So the relative velocity will just be the velocity of A plus the velocity of B, since they are going in different directions. Okay, we have that concept. That's what you were taught on Newton's law of motions and linear motions. What are you supposed to do? You are going to get this knowledge and apply it here. So we'll say, when this guy was moving towards that guy, quite alright, this guy was stationary. The relative velocity, the initial relative velocity was what? Was a zero. Or was the difference, which is that? Sorry, not a zero. Was the difference, which is that? Because this one was at rest. So 2.6 minus 0, it is 2.6. Again, these guys are somehow stuck. Whether they are stuck or not, let me take it, they are not stuck, because the distances will be different. Let's say this guy bumps into another, it bumps into another like that. You discover that this guy will go on their own, and that guy will also go on their own. Let me try to use what is happening there. So we are somewhere here. So if this guy hits that one, you find that the distances are different there. So this concept will help us to understand that even if they have gone in different directions, their movement was like that. So the final relative velocity will be the difference between the velocity of this guy, which is going to be V2 final, minus the velocity of this other guy, which is V2 final. Initial, I've already stated the initial velocity where it is. Okay, so we have that. We just need to apply. So what we'll do now, we'll say the V2 final minus the V1 final is equal to 2.6 meters per second. Let's try to ignore the what? The units. So this guy will be our equation 2. So you have equation 1 and you have equation 2. What's next? Let's add. You add equation 1 and equation 2. Let me write that. Add EQ1 and EQ2. What are we having? We'll say V2 minus V1 1 is equal to 2.6, and then there we are going to have V2 complement from that one plus 4 V1 complement is equal to 10.477. We are using the elimination method. So to get rid of that and that, we'll subtract. So that minus that is giving us negative 5 V1 final is equal to that minus that. It's going to give us negative 10, 1. Negative 10 minus 2.6. 10 minus 2.6. Negative 7 point what? 87. Okay. So minus 5 minus over negative 5, that and that will go. So V1 final, that divided by that is what? 1 point what? 1.57 meters per watt per second. That was the final velocity for this guy, cube 1. Let's look at cube 2. Let's look at cube 2. What was the final velocity? So for cube 2, we need to understand that we can get that. So we can say V2 complement minus V1 complement is equal to 2.6. And then this guy can go that side. We have V2 complement is equal to 2.6 plus V1 complement. So V2 complement is equal to 2.6 plus that guy here, which is 1.57 meters per second. So V2 complement is equal to the sum of those guys. What's the answer? 4.17 meters per second. So we have observed that the velocities for cube 1 and cube 2 were totally different. We have observed that the velocity of cube 1 and cube 2, they were totally different. What are we supposed to do next to find the distance? You are now done with momentum. Momentum has just helped you here. You are done with it. The next thing which is remaining here is for you to apply the linear motion equations. What do you understand? Something is falling. It's falling like that. What is happening? There is the coverage of the distance. There is the time spent. There is the velocity. What else are you observing? There is also the issue of the change in what kinetic energy, but that doesn't matter because we have already found the V2 and V1. So if you now decide to use the kinetic energy, you're just playing around with that. So what are you supposed to do now? Look for time. Calculate for time. So how can we calculate for time? How can we calculate for time? You think of the four equations of motion. The four equations of motion. We have four equations of motion. And then I'll just pick the one which says distance represented by S is equal to UV plus half ZUT plus half AT squared. Now we know that the initial will be 0. The initials will be 0. So our height, which is this, will take this height. So you forget about that. You now deal with this part for you to find what the time. So our height, it is 0.95 is equal to, here there is a 0. This object is falling from rest going down. So we need to understand what was the time. Yes, the velocities are different. But what was the time for this object to fall from there to there? And that equation will help us. So what are we going to do? We are going to say half times g, a is replaced by g, times t squared. So we can say 0.95 is equal to half times 9.8 times t squared. This can be given as t squared is equal to 2 times 0.95 divided by 9.8. I've just made t the subject of the formula. I know some of you don't know how to come about on this point. So just say you have 0.95 is equal to half times 9.8 times t squared. You cross multiply here, which is giving you 9.8 times t squared is equal to 2 times 0.95. Then you divide by 9.8, divide by 9.8, you have t squared is equal to 2 times 0.95 over 9.8. You have that. You just work out. What are we finding t? What is our t? 0. What? 0.44, right? So our t is equal to 0.44 seconds. Alright. What are you supposed to do? You have been asked to find the distance for each cube. You have been asked to find the distance for each cube. And you have seen that these cubes, they have different velocities. Those cubes, they have different velocities. What are we going to do? We are going to use the equations of motion once again to find the values of the distance. So, let's say the distance for this guy is x1, and then the value of this guy is x2. Not only that, we need to understand that speed is equal to what? Distance over what? Time. That's another formula. Speed, because we have time and speed, we are saying speed is equal to distance over what? Time. What is the speed? The speed is the velocity of this guy and also the velocity of that guy, which are totally different. So if we put this distance to be x1, let's say for cube 1, then we can say x1 is equal to 0.44 times, what was the value? 1.57. So x1 is equal to what? 0.69 meters. And then for x2, we'll do the same. You say distance, speed times time. So you say 0.44 times what was our speed? 4.17. What is our value? 1.83 meters. Yeah,